Emma was a wealthy Hayes with a sensitive heart and a promising future with her fiancé Ethan. Although she loved Ethan, she had one major concern: she didn't know if his family really accepted her for who she was, or if they were just interested in his fortune. To find out the truth, Emma came up with a daring plan. She decided to disguise herself as a maid, adopting a simple identity and a modest uniform in order to infiltrate the family home and see how they behaved away from the eyes of someone rich. With her new disguise, Emma began her journey as Emma, the house's new employee. She prepared meticulously for the mission, putting together a simple uniform and rehearsing how she should act so as not to arouse suspicion. Emma's aim was to discreetly observe the way the family treated their employees and behaved towards each other without any facade. In this way, she hoped to find out whether they were genuinely good people or just self-interested people in disguise. Emma was excited and a little nervous about her new mission. To pass herself off as a maid, she prepared very carefully. She chose a simple uniform with an apron and a cap that transformed her into someone completely different. She made sure that every detail of her disguise was perfect, from her appearance to the way she spoke, so as not to arouse suspicion. Emma wanted no one to realize that her new employee was actually a wealthy Hayes. When she arrived at Ethan's house, Emma introduced herself as Emma, a new maid who was there to help with the daily chores. The family welcomed her with a certain formality without knowing who she really was. Emma, with her disguise carefully prepared, set to work trying to blend in and observe the family members. She was attentive to every detail, eager to discover the truth about their character and see how they really treated the people around them. On her first day in the house, Emma, still disguised as Emma, was greeted by Ethan's family with a rather cold formality. They greeted her politely, but didn't show much warmth or sympathy. Emma soon realized that despite the superficially courteous treatment, there was a barrier between her and the family members. As she went about her daily tasks, Emma began to notice small signs that revealed the true personality of Ethan's relatives. Instead of warm and respectful interactions, she observed murmurs and distant glances. The cordiality they showed seemed to be just a facade. Emma remained attentive, recording every attitude and conversation to find out if the family really was as friendly as they seemed, or if there was something else behind their appearances. Emma, disguised as Emma, began to get used to the routine of the house. She spent her days doing simple tasks such as cleaning, cooking and tidying the rooms. As she became more integrated into the environment, Emma had the opportunity to observe the behavior of Ethan's family in more detail. What Emma saw was not exactly what she expected. The way the family treated their employees showed a lack of respect that she hadn't anticipated. Although they were kind in front of others, Emma noticed that behind the scenes the family members were distant and indifferent. A few small actions such as disdainful words and inconsiderate attitudes revealed the true character of the people who initially seemed so kind and respect. Emma was determined to understand more about this dissimulation and how it reflected on the family's daily life during the first few days working in the house. Emma, still in the guise of Emma, began to form a clear idea about Ethan's family. She noticed that despite appearances of friendliness, there was a certain coldness in the way the family members behaved. The smiles they offered were often empty and didn't reflect the human warmth Emma expected. When Emma served meals or did chores, she felt the indifference of some family members. Sometimes she was ignored completely or given orders in a rude way. This difference between superficial behavior and the way they actually treated their employees made Emma wonder about the family's sincerity. She was beginning to see that the kindness and respect promised in front of others was not as genuine as it seemed. During her experience as Emma witnessed a scene that confirmed her greatest fears. One quiet afternoon, while she was busy in the kitchen, she heard an argument coming from the dining room. Curious, she approached discreetly and peeked through the crack in the door. There, one of the family members, Uncle Victor, was making a harsh and cruel criticism of one of the older employees called Joel. Uncle Victor was unhappy about a small mistake made by Joel, and his reaction was disproportionate. He raised his voice, making disrespectful comments about the employee's work and ridiculing him in front of everyone. Emma was shocked to see the lack of empathy and cruelty with which XA was treated, especially as Uncle Victor had a friendly smile in front of the guests. That moment was a turning point. For Emma, she realized that empathy and respect, which she thought were important values for Ethan's family, were absent. The way Uncle Victor treated Za not only revealed a lack of consideration for the employees but also made Emma reflect on how this kind of behavior could be reflected in other areas of the family's life. Feeling a squeeze in her heart, Emma decided that she needed to continue observing and gathering more information. She knew she needed to fully understand the family dynamic before making any decisions about her future with Ethan. This was a harsh reminder that people's true nature doesn't always match the image they project to the world. Amidst the whirlwind of discoveries and disappointments, Emma faced a growing dilemma. One day while she was alone in the kitchen, Ethan, her fiancé, appeared unexpectedly. He was worried and was looking for a moment to talk. Emma, even with her identity disguised, had to deal with the challenge of keeping her true identity hidden while offering him the support he needed. Ethan looked distressed and talked about the pressure he felt from his family. He expressed his doubts and concerns, mentioning that he was struggling to balance his loyalties and maintain family harmony. Emma realized that he really cared about everyone but was struggling to cope with the complexity of family relationships. His sincerity and vulnerability touched her deeply. While listening to Ethan, Emma found herself in an internal dilemma. She had to decide whether to reveal to him that she was undercover and what she had discovered so far. Keeping the secret required a great deal of willpower, but it also made her question whether Ethan really deserved to know the truth now, or whether it would be more prudent to wait. Emma reflected on the importance of protecting her identity while assessing Ethan's character. Her decision on how to handle the situation would impact not only her relationship with him but also her view of his family. With a heavy heart, she decided that she needed to maintain her cover for a while longer and continue observing while trying to offer the emotional support that Ethan was looking for. As Emma continued to work in the house and observe Ethan's family, she began to feel a growing internal conflict. Each day brought new discoveries about the family's disrespectful behavior and lack of empathy. The pain of realizing that the people she imagined to be kind and welcoming were in fact so uncaring and cruel distressed her. Emma often found herself immersed in thoughts about whether her decision to disguise herself had been the right one. She wondered if she had gone too far in her search for the truth, and if by exposing the true face of the family she could be damaging her relationship with Ethan and their very future. The idea that she could be breaking off a relationship with someone who, despite the family's faults, really loved her left her with an immense weight on her heart. Every interaction with Ethan became an emotional challenge as Emma had to maintain her disguise while trying to offer genuine support. Her growing restlessness made it difficult to separate her personal feelings from her observations about the family. She was struggling to balance her integrity and the truth she had discovered with the need to protect the relationship she had with her fiancé. Over time, the weight of the situation began to affect her mental and emotional health. Emma wondered whether she was ready to face the truth or whether she should take a step back and re-evaluate her actions. This internal dilemma made her feel torn between the desire to do the right thing and the fear of causing more pain and complications in her life and in her relationship with Ethan. While Emma was struggling with her own doubts, an unexpected event brought a new perspective. On a particularly tense day while cleaning the home library, Emma overheard a confidential conversation between Ethan and his father. Curious and worried, she was able to hear the conversation through a crack in the ajar door. Ethan was discussing with his father a secret plan to protect the family from financial and personal problems. Even with the challenges they were facing, he revealed that he knew about the shortcomings and problematic behavior of some family members but was trying to find a way to deal with the situation without exposing everyone to scorn or shame. This revelation showed Emma that despite the difficulties, Ethan was committed to protecting everyone and maintaining harmony, which indicated a deep sense of responsibility and care. The discovery made Emma reconsider her perceptions of Ethan and his family. She realized that although the family had serious flaws, Ethan was trying to act fairly and responsibly. This fuller picture gave Emma a new understanding of Ethan's role and the complexities involved in the family dynamic. Emma now faced a crucial decision: whether to confront Ethan with what she had discovered, or to use this new information to better understand how to deal with the situation. The revelation brought a new layer of complexity to her situation, making her reflect on the true nature of her relationship and how she should proceed to resolve the situation in a fair and sensible way. After reflecting on her findings, Emma decided it was time to confront Ethan's family with the truth. She prepared for the moment, carefully choosing a day when the family was gathered for lunch to ensure that Everyone would be present. Her heart was racing as she prepared to reveal her true identity and expose what she had witnessed. When Emma entered the living room, the family members were chatting and relaxing after the meal. With a deep sigh, she addressed everyone and bluntly revealed that she was in fact Emma, Ethan's wealthy eyes and fiancé. The shock was immediate. Looks of surprise and confusion spread around the room and the atmosphere became tense. Emma then began to explain the observations she had made during her time undercover. She talked about the lack of respect and dismissive attitudes she had witnessed, including the episode in which Uncle Victor treated Tom the waiter cruelly. Her revelation was a blow to the family, who had never imagined that someone could be so attentive to their private behavior. Emma's revelation caused a wave of reactions. Some family members tried to justify themselves while others showed genuine regret. The confrontation forced everyone to face the reality of their actions and began to open up a difficult discussion about the true nature of the family and the need for change. Emma, although distressed, felt the time was right to face the truth and allow the family to start reflecting on their attitudes. After Emma's shocking revelation, the reaction of Ethan's family was immediate and tumultuous. The initial silence was quickly replaced by a wave of confusion and denial. The family was stunned to discover that the maid they had treated with indifference was actually Ethan's wealthy eyes and fiancé. Expressions of surprise turned into heated debates and desperate attempts to defend themselves. Some family members, like Uncle Victor, tried to justify themselves, claiming that their attitudes had been misinterpreted or that they were under stress. They tried to minimize the impact of the criticism of Zil, the employee, and argued that their actions didn't reflect who they really were. The attempt to justify the behavior only added more tension to the situation, making the atmosphere even more charged. Other family members showed signs of real regret. Uncle Victor's wife, with tears in her eyes, expressed a sincere apology to Emma and the employee, acknowledging that she had failed to treat people with the respect they deserved. This moment of vulnerability revealed that despite many trying to deny it, there was a growing awareness that the family needed to face up to its failings. The crisis generated by the revelation forced the family to confront their own behavior and evaluate how their attitudes had impacted not only Emma but also the people around them. The tension was mixed with the hope that by acknowledging their mistakes they could find a way to change and improve as individuals and as a family. After the tumultuous confrontation with Ethan's family, Emma found herself at a crucial moment of decision. The weight of the revelations and the impact it had on everyone involved left her in a state of deep reflection. She knew she needed to carefully consider her next actions, as not only her relationship with Ethan was at stake but also the family dynamic. Emma pondered whether she should go ahead with the wedding or reconsider her future with Ethan. Although she saw the potential for change in the family, she was also aware of the difficulties and challenges that could arise. Her decision was not only about her personal relationship with Ethan but also about how she could contribute to a possible positive transformation in everyone's lives. In addition, Emma felt a great desire to protect Ethan from the tensions and conflicts that could arise after the confrontation. She knew that he was facing a dilemma of his own, trying to balance loyalty and responsibility with the need to bring about change. Emma needed to decide whether she was willing to take the risk of entering into a tumultuous relationship or whether it would be wiser to take a step back and assess the situation more calmly. With a heavy heart, Emma decided that she needed to discuss her concerns and feelings with Ethan before making any final decisions. This moment of sincerity and openness was crucial to understanding whether the relationship could withstand the pressures and whether the family was willing to make significant changes. Emma was looking for a solution that was not only fair to her but also offered a real chance of creating a more harmonious future for everyone. Emma knew that the time had come to talk to Ethan about everything that had happened. She invited him to a private conversation in a quiet place in the house, away from the tensions and chaos that followed the revelation. Sitting down together, Emma prepared herself to be completely honest and open about her feelings and discoveries. In a calm voice, Emma explained to Ethan the emotional impact the experience had had on her. She revealed all the details she had observed while undercover, including the lack of respect from her family and the cruelty she had witnessed. She also shared her doubts and worries about the future, expressing the fear that their relationship might not survive these difficulties. Ethan listened attentively, his face reflecting a mixture of surprise and sadness. He thanked Emma for her honesty and for having gone so far to protect their relationship. Ethan confessed that he was also struggling with his own doubts and worries about his family, and that his biggest concern was Emma's loyalty and well-being. The conversation became a moment of vulnerability and mutual understanding, where they could both express their fears and hopes. At the end of the conversation, Emma and Ethan came to the conclusion that they needed to face their problems head on. They decided that despite the difficulties, they would be willing to work together to face the challenges and look for solutions to improve the family dynamic. The sincerity and openness of the conversation strengthened their commitment to each other and helped clarify the way forward, offering a new perspective on their future together. After deep reflection and an honest conversation, Emma and Ethan decided that they needed to tackle the situation in a practical and constructive way. They committed themselves to finding a solution that could preserve their relationship and at the same time promote positive changes in the family dynamic. They decided to set new boundaries and expectations for Ethan's family. Emma and Ethan agreed to implement some fundamental changes, such as promoting an environment of respect and empathy within the house. They proposed creating a space where everyone could express their concerns and work together to resolve conflict, promoting a more open and constructive dialogue. In addition, Emma and Ethan decided to postpone the wedding to give the family time to adjust to the new rules and dynamics established. This pause was important to ensure that all parties involved had the chance to reflect and make the necessary changes. They believed that with patience and effort they could build a more solid and healthy foundation for the future. The outcome of the wedding was a milestone for Emma and Ethan, representing not only a new phase in their relationship but also a joint effort to create a more respectful and harmonious family environment. The decision to postpone the ceremony and work on family issues showed a genuine commitment to building a better future, reflecting their desire to face challenges with courage and understanding. With the decision made and the changes underway, Emma and Ethan began working hard to bring about a real transformation in the family dynamic. They dedicated themselves to creating an environment where respect and empathy were priorities, not just empty words. Emma began implementing regular meetings with all family members to openly discuss issues and seek collective solutions. During these meetings, Emma and Ethan encouraged the family to reflect on their attitudes and recognize the impact of their actions. They introduced new practices to strengthen family ties and promote a more inclusive and welcoming environment. The family was challenged to commit to change, actively participating in building an atmosphere of mutual support and respect. The process was not easy and involved many challenges. Emma and Ethan faced initial resistance and had to deal with the discomfort of change. However, with patience and persistence, they began to notice a gradual improvement in the way family members interacted. Small gestures of kindness and respect began to replace the previous indifference and coldness. Emma and Ethan's story ended on a note of hope and renewal. The final transformation not only saved their relationship but also offered the family a chance to grow and become stronger. Emma and Ethan continued to work together to maintain the changes and ensure that harmony and respect were essential parts of their family life, showing that even in the face of great challenges, change is possible with dedication and joint effort.